what is this strange? What are you thinking is strange going on?
Well, real estate's very strange. I mean, I've had a listing for like 26 or 27 days here, and I haven't had one single phone call on it. And that's unusual. I've never had that happen in all the years I've been working here. And I
Right.
took another listing at the beginning of what's today, Friday. I took another listing. I put it in the computer on Monday. Still no calls, no nothing. And that's a a bigger unit in a different building, different price. So we just kind of, after the storms are gone, we cleaned up. We picked up the garbage. It's all gone. The place is clean. But I don't see any transactions happening here. Very, very, very slow right now. So I don't know what's going on.
Hi.
So Jade has a question. Is it the price the issue, or what exactly is the issue?
I have no idea what the issue is, but it's definitely not price because, um, nothing else is selling. It's not like it's me. They haven't singled me out. Everything is pretty much the same. So it's just the market here has come to a screeching halt. But then, I'm surrounded by, you know, uh, low-lying areas. This was an area that got flooded. The reason I'm not there, I don't have a car, and I don't want a car right now. So, it's we'll see what happens.
What happened to the car?
Got flooded, man.
Flooded.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Yeah, that's what I said. We all got flooded.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, all over the news, that Shore Acres and the
Snell Isle.
Madeira Beach and Treasure Island, because I had a client's listing on Treasure Island, and that got 4 feet of water. So we had to take that off until that gets to some kind of a resolution.
Yeah, the inventory has dropped here in Pinellas County, and it's not because it has been sold. It's because they got wet and they took them off the market.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. I got a lead for somebody who's going to call me to take a look at one of those condos tomorrow, maybe over the weekend. And it's one of these ladies who got flooded out in Snell Isle and needs to buy a place. So maybe, maybe I can get something sold here because it's dead. How are you guys doing?
Adrian, I want to ask you a question. It's Gene.
I'm going to give you this.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Is anybody that you're aware of advertising on YouTube or on any other to show that that area has recovered and that the area is doing well? Because most of the time you look, type in anything to do with that area of Florida, it's only showing the devastation. You don't find very many videos and news articles that are showing we've recovered, we're back up and functioning, and everything's doing good. Once in a while, the news might show it, but if you like do a search on YouTube or on Instagram, it's showing the destruction, not the recovery.
Yeah, because the recovery is no, if you drive down the road, I mean, my complex, my association, the president of my HOA, 36 hours after we got flooded, we already had a company out here opening up the units, drying them out, taking the stuff out, the carpeting, and we were like right away. So 2 weeks after the flood, we had removed all of the furniture, the debris. We had mountains and mountains of we had 72 units flooded. Okay. And so all of the furniture and everything from those units were all out in the parking lot. That's all been picked up and gone and removed. 2 weeks later, we're clean. But I can't say the same for the building next door, which is a different HOA. They still have all the appliances and stuff in front of the units. And you go down the road in First Street and there's mountains of furniture and debris. So no, this whole area is far from being ready. We here in our two buildings are ready, but nobody else.
I think that's the part of the problem right there, Adrian, is because they have to drive past that to see yours. And I know that it's kind of like, think of it like, there's
Yeah.
I forget the name of the subdivision. It's a really expensive subdivision in Nebraska. You know the one, it's like,
Avila.
yeah, Avila. Have you ever gone to Avila over here in Tampa?
Yeah.
It's beautiful, $30 million houses in there, but you're going through a rough neighborhood. I mean, there's
Right.
some rough neighborhoods in that area, and so it's kind of like people would drive to that, they see the neighborhood, they turn around and leave even before they, got to Avalon. And I think
Sure.
that's probably what's impacting your sales right now, because there's still so much debris and damage left that's visible. It's turning to,
Um,
that's the issue.
well, that may be the issue, but we had a historic storm. We've never been flooded here. These buildings have been here for 50 years, and they never have been flooded ever. Okay, so this was a once in a lifetime deal. Can it happen again? Sure, it happened once. It can happen again, but it's not likely that it's going to happen next year. But hopefully, it won't. So I think what's happening here is all of those people that got flooded out in Shore Acres and Snell Isle and so forth, with those bigger homes, they have been looking around to try to buy condos because their homes aren't fixed. Their homes won't be fixed for a long time. Okay. So these people know that it's going to take them the better part of a year to get their homes fixed up because of the permitting and the lack of contractors and everything else. So they're coming out and they're buying. A lot of these people, they have cash. They money's not the problem, so they can come and they can buy a $200,000 condo cash and just live here until their place is ready, and then they can either sell or move back in. So some of that's been going on in the surrounding area, but I think outside of that, people just coming in because they want to move to Florida and find a 55 plus. I think the market slowed down, and I had my theory as to what the elections would do to the real estate market, and I mentioned that months ago, and here we are. So let's see what happens.
So do you think it's going to improve after the election is complete? After
Um,
comes into office, do you think it will improve then?
I that remains to be seen, because there's still a lot of concern and consternation and questions and stuff, and a lot of people, look, if you go to Google and you check and you look at what is the most popular searches in Google right after the election, actually, was how can I change my vote? Okay, so people wanted to know, hey, how can I change my vote? It's kind of stupid. You can't change your vote. What's done is done. And then one of the most popular searches too is countries that I can move to. How to move out of the U.S. A lot of people are doing that also. So there's a little bit of stuff going on. People are waiting to see what happens.
Okay.
But I mean, beside that fact, what's going on Google or what people are saying, I think the decision has already been made, and I don't see a major change happening, or this result of this election going in an opposite direction anymore, because it's done and over with. So we just have to focus on what is on the table, and then
Right.
hope and pray and wish that things go in the right direction.
Sure. So that was
Because
my
again, I
little.
think the thing of it
That's
is,
my. Yeah. Go ahead.
that's every person has their own political, views. So,
Correct.
I'm not going to say who's right, who's wrong. I'm very neutral about politics. So I really don't even pay too much attention. And you were complaining about that. He chewed my behind the other day that you don't care, you don't monitor things, but that's a different topic. So yeah, let's hope, but the thing of it is, this hurricane messed up a portion of our market, which was Pinellas County, specifically where your part of Pinellas County got, okay. Pinellas, Pasco, whoever was near the beaches, near the waters who got flooded.
Yep.
But again, our geography is a little bit bigger than the beaches, bigger than the areas which were flooded. So now the question is 2025. I actually had a different presentation in mind, but I'm not gonna even talk about that because, huh?
I want to hear.
Well, I mean, I was initially thinking that, of course, it would be a very typical lunch and learn where, some of the new agents who are going to be there and they would need some input. I don't need to talk about any of that. Coincidentally, all the people in the meeting are all producing, all seasoned. We have been in the business, so we can be honest. And what we really, so really, regardless of who's going to come in the power, and we can't control that.
Correct.
We cannot control the interest rates. We cannot,
No, of course not.
we cannot control the weather. Okay. So now, keeping all those things in mind, that the challenges that we have been dealing with in the past 12 months and the challenges that we will be dealing with in the next near future, what should be done? What should we do? How we should do so we can be ahead of our game.
Well, I mean, Gene had a point. I mean, in the most recent listing that I just took, the opening statement in the remarks states that the building was not subject to flooding. Okay, so people know right off the bat this is not one building that was flooded. And then we now have a flood disclosure that the seller has to sign, and we have to make available to buyers. Are you guys familiar with that?
Yes.
Okay, that's required now at the point either before or at the time that an offer is being presented. So you got to get your sellers to complete that document, that disclosure, whether or not they have claimed any money from an insurance company or if they have filed a claim with an insurance company. That's something that needs to be disclosed now.
Just like a sinkhole. Now, are we seeing any major hikes in the insurance rates?
Oh, not yet, but I'm sure they're going to come.
Because see, again, now I'm talking like a mortgage person. I have
Yep.
had 2 transactions almost fall through because of the insurances. Now, initially, it was a small townhome. Both of them were like around 250-ish, 220-ish price range properties.
Right.
And we were guesstimating the insurance to be around $1,000.
Okay.
Both the policies, when we actually went for the quotes came to $2,200 and $2,600. Okay. So that messed up the DTIs for the borrowers. Now, when I'm giving you a pre-approval, I don't have the actual amount of the quote in my hand, so I'm just doing a very rough guesstimate. And now, fortunately, these people had the money, so both these clients are actually paying one of them is paying off their car, one of them is paying off their American Express to bring the DTIs in line, and we will be pushing the files to the closing table. But it's not going to happen with everybody. People don't have extra $10,000, $15,000 to just write a check and pay off their debts.
Right.
So let's not forget that insurances is also going to be one of the major reasons where people who qualified at the time of writing an offer might not qualify as when the loan goes in the approval stages or when the loan goes, comes out of underwriting and we're shopping for the insurances.
Right. So the insurance in Florida was already, I think they said it was 5 times higher than the national average. So now it's going to get even worse after the storms.
Well, I mean, let's hope he does a lot of things about a lot of things because, no system is perfect in the entire world. But
Yeah,
I
that's
think
a state that's a state issue to the best of my knowledge. That's a state, of course you got the federal national flood insurance program. But so we'll see what happens there. But a lot of that is state. The insurance companies can't operate in the state. So now what I did hear this morning is credit cards are at a historic high. The balances are at historic highs. That I think consumers owe something like close to $2 trillion, and the average credit card balance is at $6,800.
Hmm.
And that you probably see that in your mortgage applications, maybe.
Right, right. We are definitely seeing a lot of high balances on their credit cards and high monthly payments, and that's what's really messing up a lot of people now. Fortunately, we are in a market, Tampa market, Pinellas, Pasco, Hillsborough, generally are people who are coming in are coming up with a decent down payment. So I'm not
Uh-huh.
seeing that much of an issue, to be honest with you. But
Okay.
I'm seeing a lot of that with middle income, low income borrowers from our Texas market, from our Michigan clients. Oh, I'm having so much problems with the DTIs from people with Michigan because, again, their incomes are not that great, but the debts are very high, the credit cards are very high. So yeah, that's also one of the biggest concerns. And the question is, like I said, everybody in this meeting right now has been in the real estate business for a while. So I want to hear from you individually. What are your thoughts? What are your plans for 2025? Because there are two mindsets, very, two mindsets which are very common with real estate agents right now. One of them
Okay.
are simply quitting the business.
Yeah.
They said, okay, we're done, but exactly. So
Right.
there is a there is a there is a big, I won't say a big, but there is a portion of number of real estate agents who have decided to quit the business, and they said this is no longer for them because they were used to the easier sales that were happening in the COVID, and just it was a smooth sale. They're not ready for the choppy waters, let's put it that way.
Right.
The other mindset is that people are going more aggressive. So
More
the
aggressive.
more aggressive in their real estate because they realize that in this competitive market, if they want to survive, they just can't be sitting at home. They just can't be waiting for the clients to come in. So they are going in full swing. Now, whether they are talking about spending money on advertisements, talking about doing open houses, talking about, just overall networking, any agent who can come up with whatever ideas, either they are going full swing or they are quitting the business. This is what I'm hearing by talking to not just people in our company, but also, other agents who have been working with me on the mortgage side, and they are working with other companies in other states. This is what they are saying. Man, we want to be in the business. So guess what? We will have to be more aggressive. We have to tailor our business plans. We have to start investing more money into our business so we can generate the business. So my question is, people sitting in this meeting, only for the people sitting in the meeting, what is the thought process? What's happening? What are you guys doing? I'm going to start with you.
I'm working my little neighborhood. I got 2 condos, and I got a third one coming. It's one of the ones that got flooded out. It was rented. The guy has already started. He's got his permits. He's got his contractors. He's moving fast because he wants to fix it, put it up for sale, and bang, gone. I have a lead from a past client who contacted me by email. This is a client I sold something to in Tampa. You might remember over there by the Shriners Hospital out that way. I sold a condo out there in that complex. I don't remember the name of it. And
I
God,
remember that. Yes.
yeah. That might have been 8 years ago or something like that. Anyway, I got an email, hey, can my daughter call you? She wants to buy something, etc. So I'm waiting for that. Then I got another lead to maybe show one of my condos tomorrow. So I kind of work my little market here. And so, as long as I can make a few sales here per year, that's fine. And if I can do any commercial leases and stuff, that's fine. I have a potential client to lease a warehouse down in Fort Myers. But we'll see what happens. Then the storm hit, so I don't know if his plans changed or if he got flooded out. I haven't spoken to him yet. But I'm kind of like
2024 was a weird year for
this is all new stuff. So there's no you can't go back and open the book and say, yeah, under this condition, this is what you do, because this is all new stuff.
true.
You know,
And I agree with you, and I understand with you. Your business model has been lately specifically to your, smaller footprint on your geography, and you have done very well doing, with that business model. The cost of doing business is much less than a traditional model, and at the end of the year, it's your bottom line is good. So I agree. So good, and let's hope that in your market, and especially in Pinellas, in the next few months, hopefully after the holidays, things might get settled down. And because yours is mostly a cash-based market too, correct?
for the most part, yeah.
The most part, it's people with
Yeah.
cash. Really, the interest rates and the down payments and all that really don't affect your market, your geography. So
It
yeah,
does. It does when those clients have to sell their homes first in Snell Isle and Northeast Shore Acres and whatever. When they have to sell their $1.5 million, $2 million homes, and those buyers don't want to fool with a 7% mortgage rate, and that's what's been holding up the show.
I mean,
It's the domino effect.
the domino effect, exactly. And generally, what the perception was, what we were hearing in the industry, that even with the Fed rate cuts, interest rates are going to come down. They did for a few weeks, I would say probably 3 weeks or so, but now they're above the 7.1, 7.2%. And that you don't get the 7.1 and 7.2. That's only on online bankrate.com kind of a thing. But if you're really in the real world, that what I'm dealing with, the rates are 7.25 and 7.5 and above. Okay. So that's not helping the real estate market. But yes, in
Nope.
in your geography, you're cash based, and I can say that we are definitely going to hope that things might get better. Things should get better, because you know what? The 2024 was not a good year for many real estate agents.
Yeah,
Some
right.
of the agents did even, and I'll be very transparent with you, even though I don't sell real estate that much. I'm more on, as you know, everybody knows I'm behind the desk guy. But on the mortgage side, it was a very slow year for me.
Uh,
It was a very, very, very slow year comparison to last 3-4 years that we did. I mean,
Yeah.
yes, of course, with help from agents like everybody in the company, referrals, and my own sphere of influence, I did some business, but it did not even touch a portion of what we did the years before. So
right.
now, thing of it is, we have to figure out what's 2020. Now, yes, the prediction is the interest rates are going to go down, because
Right.
all these top-notch lenders are investors that we sell these loans to. They are prepping their teams and their people for the refinance boom. Okay. When you say refinance boom, which means the interest rates have to be at least 2% below than what they are right now. So if you are looking
That's
at
right.
if you are looking at a 7.5 today, the refinance boom is going to kick in when the interest rates start floating around upper fives, lower sixes. And if it
Yeah.
gets a little bit lower than that, yes, because between 2022 to 2024, in the past 2 years, all the closings that people have done, they have been above the 6.5 and 7.5%. I mean, the closings that we did last year around this time, they were in the upper sevens. Okay. I remember some of the clients that I closed deals with, they were upper sevens. So now if those upper sevens becomes upper fives, it's very, very logical for them to go for that refinance. So
Mhm.
the predictions from the industry leaders, we are a very small fish. I'm talking about leaders who does
Yeah.
billions of dollars worth of transactions. those are prepping the teams up for the refinance boom, which means they know something that you and I don't, okay? So I'm hoping that, yes, the interest
Well,
rates could see a decline.
it's the logical step. The rates come down, people will refi. That's and
Not
the
very
reason they're going
small.
to one of the reasons they're going to refi is they need to pay off these credit cards that they've got. Okay, that's one of the reasons people need cash now all of a sudden, and they're
I
waiting for the
I
moment.
can't agree with you anymore because last month I closed a refinance. I did the refinance for that guy. His loan was at 3 point something percent. He came to me and I refinanced his loan for 6.75%. The only reason was he had substantial equity. Okay. The only reason was his wife had racked up the credit cards. So when
So
we did the math, it was a VA loan, and VA is very particular about the tangible benefit. If
yeah,
you don't show that this person is actually going to get a tangible benefit from this refinance, the VA is going to throw that file away.
okay,
So just imagine that his 3 point something percent mortgage was refinanced into an upper sixes, 6.75 or something. But when we paid off these debts, his monthly obligations were much less than what he would have paid for those credit card payments.
yeah,
Okay.
because credit card the insurance is, I mean, the interest is over 20%. Yeah,
Exactly. So I can't agree with you anymore that what people have done,
well,
they have racked up these credit card debts. That's also going to be a motivating factor for people to actually go for refinances, even if the interest rate is not that great.
yeah,
So normally, from the banking guidelines, if you can get a discount of 1% on your existing interest rate, it's worth it for you to refinance. If you can get a 2% discount, which adds up to at least $200 to $300 in monthly payments on an average
right,
$250,000 loan, it's worth
right,
it for you to refinance.
yeah.
But if you want to refinance those debts, yes, it's definitely a worth it.
Listen, I have to move away from this and respond to a text
Go ahead. Go ahead.
from a client. So I
This
hope
is
I
gonna
can
be
come back.
this is gonna be recorded. I'll send it to you for any reason.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not leaving. I'm gonna try to just respond and come back.
Okay. Just put come back. Come back. All right. So let's sorry.
Okay, there you are. I can see you.
Financing for the credit card, is that like something that's normal?
Very common. Very common. One of the reasons, one of the motivating factors for people to get refinancing done is because of these monthly obligations. Now, see, if you have the money and you're charging your credit card and you're paying it off every month, you don't care. But I'm talking about an average American who goes and buy this big screen TV on a credit card and he doesn't have the money to pay for it next month. So he has to pay the minimum monthly payment on it. And that adds up. So then what happens, 5,000 here, 2,000 here, 10,000 here. But at the end of the day, when you're looking at your monthly obligations on top of the mortgage, you're paying too much. I'll give you a live example. The total obligation for that, or his original mortgage was 1,100 something dollars. He was paying his mortgage and the credit card payments were approximately $2,900. But when I refinanced his loan, his total refinancing the credit cards, refinancing the mortgage into a 6.75% rate from a 3 point something percent rate, his monthly payment became $1,700. So he ended up paying $700 more on the mortgage, but out of the pocket, he was paying $1,300 less every month because he paid off the credit card debts.
That's right.
Yeah, imagine having that much in credit card.
Well, I mean, because you are a sensible person. I'm talking about people who don't really care, who just go ahead and go to the stores and rack up the credit card. Okay, there are certain situations where there's a genuine reason, okay, emergencies, but I'm talking about, I had a client who came to me and, he said, I'm 80 something years old. I want to make sure that my last check bounces before I die.
Oh my goodness.
That was his mindset. He came to me for a reverse mortgage. Now, reverse mortgage, you need to have a will. You need to have somebody that you're gonna leave that home to.
Right,
Otherwise, you don't qualify for it. So
okay.
he was
I didn't
asking,
know that.
yeah, yes. So if you ever decide to get a reverse mortgage, you need to make sure that you have somebody as an heir. You need an heir because that heir is going to be responsible for taking over and taking care of that.
Okay, yeah, and we have a lot of elderly people here. So I'm wondering, do we do reverse mortgages? Have you done any?
Mhm. I'm just
Okay,
working on them right now.
okay, okay.
What
Well,
are the qualifications aside from the will?
Well, see, the thing of it is, reverse mortgage in general
Because I've always been anti.
I have been personally anti-reverse mortgages too, okay? But it really applies to your situation. Now, this one client I have done probably 2 reverse mortgages in my entire mortgage career, okay? Because I was not a big fan of it. I don't sell what I don't believe in, okay? So I was not a believer of reverse mortgages. I think it was just a scam to take people's equity out of the house. But I mean, look at a person who's 70 something years old. He has no children or he has no whatever situation, and he's still paying a mortgage. Guess what? The bank will start paying you. Now, your heir is going to be responsible for whatever that outstanding mortgage is. So let's say, there's a paid off property for the value is $200,000, and a person who is eligible for a reverse mortgage gets $100,000 loan. He gets the $100,000, he spends it, and he can live in that property without making mortgage payment until he is alive. Now, when he passes away, the property goes to the heirs. Now, the heirs are responsible for that $100,000. Either they can pay it off, they can qualify for another loan, conventional, get it refinanced and pay that reverse mortgage off, or sell the property.
does the property have to be free and clear in order to get the reverse mortgage?
No, it
Okay.
does not. It does not. Now, one situation that I'm working on is the person qualifies, is a perfect candidate for a reverse mortgage, but he has $145,000 outstanding mortgage, existing mortgage on it. So
Okay.
he's qualifying the maximum mortgage that he would qualify for is 175. So
Okay,
the property is worth 240. But see, it doesn't have to do with what the property is worth. I mean, of course, it has to do with what the property is worth, but it's not income driven. It's purely score driven and age driven. So
okay,
once they put the date of birth in the system will calculate how much would this person qualify for. So if that property was paid off, he would have got $175,000. But since he has to pay 145 to the existing lender, he's only getting paid like $30,000 out of the mortgage. So that's in general. We can actually do a big training session on reverse mortgages too, if you want.
yeah, I think that would be helpful. We are probably going to see a lot of people needing to tap into their cash for whatever reason. And one of the reasons could be, okay, so hear me out here. If there's any modification in the Social Security income, if that's reduced for whatever reason, then people are going to need to try to generate additional revenue. And the reverse mortgage is going to be probably the safest place for them to get it, because that's something that can't be touched.
Yes. Okay. Let me work on that. I can create a training session.
A quick question, is there an age limit on the reverse mortgage?
You have to be 62 or over.
You can never live it too long. Remain life, it shouldn't be too long.
So next year.
You're gonna get-
62? You're not getting a reverse mortgage.
You're not gonna do
You're
it.
paying off that house.
I'm not gonna allow it.
Yes, you want.
So you're not going anywhere, yes. So
What percentage? It's based on a percentage of the appraised value, right?
right.
So generally speaking, rough numbers, give me a hypothetical.
Let me
What is,
grab that worksheet on my desk, the one that I was working for.
all right.
So this is one of the loans that are reverse mortgage calculation that I work with.
Okay. I'm listening. I'm
So,
watching over here because I'm doing something, but I'm listening.
so I'll show you this. Maybe you can.
No, there's no way I can see that.
Okay, all right. So I'll give you a scenario here. So this person, the home value is $325,000. And he qualified for a 54% loan to value. Okay. And his new loan amount was supposed to be $176,000 based on the $325,000 purchase price. Now he has a $195,000 mortgage that needs to be paid off. So he does qualify, okay? But in order for him to be qualified for the reverse mortgage, he has to come up with $36,000 out of his pocket. Now, no, don't laugh. Don't laugh, because I have seen people do that.
Oh, not the people I'm thinking.
Well, I'm
That's
just,
why
no, I'm just telling you why. Because-
$36,000 back.
Well, he's not gonna get he has to pay $36,000 to get a reverse mortgage. Now, you're gonna ask me, why would somebody do that? Okay? There are many situations where they have a child. Okay, dad, here's the $36,000 check, pay it and be without a mortgage for the rest of your life. So in future, they don't have to make a mortgage payment monthly. So many people have actually come out of pocket just to get rid of their monthly obligations. People who are not good with managing funds, they get some claims, they get some, proceeds from somewhere, and they just pay it and they say, okay, now at least we don't have to pay anything out of our pocket.
So if your home is, so just running the scenario. If I've got these clients, their home is worth, they still have a mortgage, but their home is, the mortgage is about 50% of the home's value at this point.
Mm-hmm.
If they did a reverse mortgage, it would just mean they would no longer have a mortgage payment.
Probably, yes.
They would not get a chunk of money. They couldn't draw a chunk of money out, but it could make it so that they didn't have a mortgage payment.
They don't have an out-of-pocket expense every month as well. So really, it depends on their age and where they fall in. So it's purely, and I don't have that system like a regular loan origination system that I can plug in the data and everything. No, it doesn't work like that. So what happens,
Is it a hit to their credit to check?
no, they don't even run a credit at that point. It's more of a loan comparison sheet that the lender issues. And once they issue, this is like a preliminary guesstimate of what everything is gonna look like. And once the borrower says, okay, then they have to go through a formal education. And then there are counselors. And those counselors will set up a time and get you on the phone or something for an hour. And they'll tell you exactly what this reverse mortgage is, because they want to make sure you understand what you're getting into.
So then at the end, let's say then they do the reverse mortgage and they have an heir. So the kids are gonna inherit the house. So they die.
Mhm.
The bank is owed the 50%.
Yes.
Or more, not more, just the 50%.
Mhm.
So if the kids decide to keep it, they need to do their, if they don't have the cash to repay it, they need to do a refi to pay back the bank, or they can sell it and pay the bank back on sale.
Whichever, that's up to heir's
But it
discretion.
would leave it as though their heir would then inherit nothing, because they'd still inherit the value of 50% of the
Yeah.
property.
Exactly. Exactly.
And how long does it take to do a reverse mortgage?
About 60 days. About 60 days.
Can people get a lump sum of money when they do a reverse mortgage?
Yes.
So it's just like, instead of putting your 20% down to buy the place, the bank's going to basically, you can get that 20%, let's say, or X dollars from the bank, and then they will continue to send you monthly payments accordingly.
Well, I mean, you can even get a chunk right away and not get a monthly payment. So if you have a $200,000 property, you qualify, it's paid off, you qualify for $100,000 loan, the bank is going to write you $100,000 check, just like a proceeds from a refinance.
Well, exactly. So what's the difference between the doing a refi and getting the reverse mortgage? Because I imagine the costs of the reverse mortgage are going to be pretty high, right?
Pretty high, but in a regular refinance, if you get $100,000 from me, you'll get a payment holiday for 1 month. The next month, your repayment is going to start. On the reverse mortgage, there is no repayment
Until you die.
until you die. Your heirs are responsible for that $100,000.
Okay.
So I give perfect example, okay? There is a homeowner A. He has a property worth $200,000. He qualifies for $100,000 reverse mortgage. I do
Right.
reverse mortgage for him and give him that $100,000 at the end of the closing, okay? He
Right,
gets
right.
that loan. He's not obligated to make the repayments on that loan at all.
Correct.
Okay, so then
Correct.
so that's why that's a big requirement that that they want to make sure that they are heirs, and if there is a will in place or not. So that's a big requirement. So I believe when you don't have an heir, I think you don't qualify, but I'll double check on that because this guy was saying me, hey, I don't have any kids. Can I adopt you? I said, yeah, I would love to become your son, but not for a $200,000 mortgage.
Yeah, right.
I am sure I can
Well,
find
I mean,
daddies who want to get a reverse mortgage and adopt me as their son,
yeah, yeah. Well, it's a consideration. It's a consideration. I mean, in cases where people need to show a specific monthly income from whatever source. If you don't have a pension, you got Social Security, and you don't have any other form of retirement, then maybe the reverse mortgage might fill the spot. If you got to fill out paperwork and show, yeah, I have this monthly amount coming in, because the thing about lump sum money is here today, and you can gamble it the next day and it's gone. Right. So, but if you have a bank that is going to be depositing X number of dollars in your bank account every month, and you have a document that shows that, then that could be more useful to a lot of people.
And let's not forget, you're still obligated for the insurance, the mortgage, the taxes, the insurance, and the HOA. You still, as the owner of the home, are responsible for that. You don't get relieved from that obligation. So no, I'm glad we are having this discussion, because really the whole purpose of today's meeting was to prep ourselves for what things should we do that we are not doing right now, so that we can, because see, 2025, I'm telling you, is going to be a very tough year. It's going to be a very tough year for people who are not doing anything and just sitting at home and not concentrating on business development. Now,
Well, like I said, remember I said that
so
I
2025 is going to be an amazing year for people who are going to be aggressive and people who are going to actually get out and say, okay, we want to do this business and we will do this business. Guess what? It's going to be a very, very good year for them. Whether you're in the real estate business, whether you're in the mortgage business, but you have to change your business strategy. Simple as that. So reverse mortgages, yes, I'm glad this topic was not even a point of discussion today, but I'm glad this came up. And what I'll do is I'm going to gather a lot of information, share it with everybody. Maybe we can have a Zoom meeting or something. I'd pull some training. So because this can be a good marketing tool for you as real estate agents as well, and especially Adrian in your market.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, see, I mentioned it in one of our board meetings last was it last year? It might have been last year. I mentioned to people, because of the assessment, when we had a roof assessment, and people were, it's so much money and this and that, it's costing and the fees are going up. And I mentioned, I said, some of you might qualify for a reverse mortgage.
Mhm.
And I got the boo. They didn't know what the hell I was talking about, so they pulled it down, and I just dropped it. because
Oh.
it's lack of knowledge.
It's lack of knowledge. So really, what I would be, happy to do would first of all put together the information, educate myself from every aspect, from every possible aspect of a reverse mortgage. And then we can have some kind of, online or live seminars.
Yeah.
Our seminar, small lunch and learns, we can invite them for some donuts and bagels and, share the information with them. And if they have any queries, we'll just take care of it. I'm very good.
Okay.
Let's work on that for reverse mortgages as
That may be a vehicle that might generate some revenue in the future.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Okay, Ms. Jade, now we're gonna have you get in front of the camera and
She's on.
she's on.
I'm here.
You're on, but
This is-
but give me 1 second.
She gonna sing a song?
And a dance.
Oh, McDonald had I'm
You're on double
2 year over there. It's okay. Oh, you have it. So I have a same problem with you. I'm listing 2 property in land. One is Land Lakes, one is in Lutz, not even close to nearby water, but it's buyers are dead. I have open house, but whoever came, it's not. Hello, can you hear me? Okay, so yeah, so I think it's like what you mentioned about the timing or election, interest rate, the buyer. I got the memo or I had the research. They are hoping interest rate is gonna go down next year. So buyer is still waiting for. But when after election, I went to the international mall and so many people out there, I don't know, they are shopping, just walking around. So certain thing is feel like more alive, but that my buyers, my listing property, I have no phone call, no showing at all. But my both property is a little 10,000 or 15,000 higher than really market value because of a seller still feels like their house is so special. No other houses on the market hold the subdivision, only their house is the only market. So we listed a little higher than actual that fair market valuation I have. So that could be the issue for me, but overall, I don't have any showing, any phone call, nothing.
Yeah,
Nothing like
same
you.
thing. So
More
the
than-
thing to so the thing to do, for example, is show the people how long the average listing is taking to sell right now. It's probably about 200 days to 300 days. I mean, I'm sorry, from 120 to 250 days, more or less. You can show them, look, the average time is now. So then that way you take at least a 6-month listing. Don't take short listings and tell them, I need this time because this is where the market is. I don't control how long it takes to sell stuff. So I can't give you a 90-day listing. And the last condo that I just listed, I had in mind to go in there and list it for 225,000. And when I got there, the lady says, she says, I have a request or something like that. I said, what's that? She says, I need to start at 250. And I folded my stuff up and I said, I'm sorry, you're going to have to get yourself a different agent. I'm not listing your property at $250,000. Okay, so you get somebody else to take that listing because it won't sell. And the reason it won't sell is because you've got this one and this one and this one that's lower price, better fixed up, etc. Why would they buy yours when they can buy something better for the same amount of money? Oh, well, okay, you're the expert, So, and then I got it for 225.
Good.
Wow.
So, but very interesting thing is, the Google or online, Zillow or Realtor.com, you can check how many people click that view or save those. But though a lot, the numbers is like as soon as I put on the market next day, like a couple of thousand view and saved, and then the seller they can look at those statistic whatever.
Statistics, yeah,
So
right.
they're asking this many view and interest in there and why no one is focused. So I have to prepare the how I'm gonna respond more like a positive way, not the like keep saying we price too high, price too high. They looks like I'm failing. So that's the
Yeah.
next thing I have to prepare for those
Yep.
conversation.
Yep.
But overall, last year and this year, I cannot complain about my business. I'm growing and the capital wise, I made the most money. So this month, May, June, July, August, middle of September, almost 5 months, I didn't have anything closed.
Yeah, it was like me too. Same thing.
Yeah,
Slow.
for 5 months, right? Like what's going on? It's like
It's because people were waiting for the elections. Okay.
yeah.
It happens every 4 years. Every time there's elections, you see about 6 months before the elections, people are like, I'm not going to spend big money unless I have to. If it's a job transfer or if it's a divorce or something like that, then they will do it. But, just to move from a bigger house to a small one or from a small one to a big one, they're going to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, I could feel it. So those 4.5, almost 5 months, I didn't have anything on the market, nothing for sale, no closing. So I was a little scared and frustrated, but I set myself together and okay, this time who I can focus. So I focused to my previous investors. I did a couple of flips or previous investor. I was not contact them, but I contact them and investor came back because it was a good market for the investors. That's what I thought. And those 4 months I educated myself. So in September and October, those 4 months closing, I closed more than like those 4 months. And so for my goal for 2025, so now I have 3 niche. Before like I thought myself, I'm not gonna work with the Korean communities. They are so stupid, so liars, so I treated myself like I'm not Korean, but I realized the Korean communities can be really good my niche market. So I changed my mindset and be humble. Or so those 4 months I don't have any deal. I humbled myself. I advertising with the Korean community. So that's on the niche I'm gonna working on. And second one is like I'm focusing like divorce property. So it's a divorce property. The field is I'm working on more like a family
Okay.
law attorneys. But now I'm second Saturday workshop is helping the divorced people different ways. So I'm doing those workshops. Those my niche. My third one is my goal for the so I have 3 niche: investor, divorce, and Korean community. And then my goal for the 2025, I spoke with Deepak. I'm gonna have a Georgia license, real estate license. Our Deepak is going to do something, and then I'm going to have a license in Korea. So,
Wow.
so,
Okay.
so those my those my goal. So how I can.
That's good. You need a license in Korea. You have to have a license to sell there also.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I find out it's studied very hard, but it doesn't have to be citizen or anything. So I think But the funny thing is,
Yeah.
test is only once a year, October.
Okay.
So
Your day-to-day is-
like bar exam,
Day.
they are only once a year. So that's my goal. And then, so
Excellent.
I will update you.
Great, great, great.
That's good.
That's what I was trying to figure out.
I mentioned one thing.
Go ahead.
Because of I want to focus the Korean community, I opened our branch office in on Brooksby Down, the New Tampa and Wesley Chapel, that area. It's a small, like a piece of gum, kind of a small
Office,
office. I opened and my Korean name is gonna be on the wall. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, I opened the
Technically,
November 1st.
Melange has a branch office in Brooksby Down in the North Tampa geography now.
Wow.
Oh,
Yay.
November 1st. Just
excellent.
acting a lot.
We're gonna switch it to you guys.
Oh, you're going to us.
You're not gonna.
What about you, Jean?
He's gonna last.
You'll be last. Okay,
What am I doing?
you're on there now, and your
Here
Starbucks.
goes, yeah, and business plan.
I think for us, I think obviously the market this year has been different than any other year. No one can compare, like you were saying, Adrian. So I think, like also Deepak said, you're gonna have the people that get scared and run. We're not gonna get scared and run. We're just gonna pivot and look for a new niche, because every time in the past, no matter what situation, whether it's real estate, any business, anytime there's a low, there's an opportunity to actually be very profitable if you're paying attention. So instead of looking at what's coming as a negative, I think we look at what's coming and find the positive in it. And pivot, I think Cece and I are working on streamlining our processes better as a team, as a group.
Yep.
And improving what we're doing and the service that we're offering even more than what we've already been. We pulled off a massive trifecta this summer that was like, oh my God, so much stress, but we double-ended 2 transactions and represented half of one. So sellers bought a house that we were listing, and those sellers bought another house that we were also listing. So we double-ended 2 parts of it. But pulling that off was also a massive.
Well, it's a lot easier when you are the other agent.
Right,
Because-
but also coordinating all of the people and
Yeah,
making
sure.
like
What,
making
7 transactions that we were coordinating all in like,
Yeah.
like have they all been
Was
individual.
I a part of that? Then one of
Yeah.
the fun-
Nobody was financing.
It's all
Okay,
cash.
okay, so that's.
It
a
was all
different-
cash.
There were, but there was
The
one,
buyers of the first house were financing.
there was one.
That was
Done
the,
I was a part of, I was financing one person.
oh yeah, but
which one?
they walked.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Never-
they
we
walked.
never- Actually, that transaction was withdrawn,
And
okay. yeah.
By the way, a huge tree fell on that house.
From one of the storms, so it's really good she didn't buy that
Wow,
house.
okay.
But
Anyway,
I think through that and through this year, because like Jade, we were dead the beginning of the year, and then all of a sudden our phones blew up. Right now, we're busy. We have things in the pipeline, but we need buyers like you and Jade. None of the properties, well, the lot that Deepak's buying was affected by the water. But the other 2 residential listings we had, high and dry, no storm damage. They're both have updates. The one house looks a little more dated, but it's got impact windows. It's got a brand new roof, no flood zone. The HOA mows, and it's a single family home. I mean, it's a great home. The other one, everything's been updated. It's adorable. It's in a community that's typically constantly moving, not one showing. So
Yeah.
I think
So I'm not the only one then.
you're not the only one. I think we're in unprecedented times. We're going to continue to market and advertise, but also educate our sellers and let them know we're in unprecedented times. Don't be discouraged because
Mhm.
it will come. We just
Yeah.
have to be patient, and there's no way for me to tell you the date and the time that it's going to happen because
Yeah,
nobody's able to forecast what's going to happen, but the real estate always has to keep moving. But
yeah.
we have some solid things in our pipeline right now. We have solid transactions currently happening, And I think next year with what we're setting up for ourselves this year,
Yeah.
will be even more streamlined, because for CC and I, the goal is we're not trying to be like, you know, on the
$1
next
billion
HGTV or millionaires, but we both have very busy lives outside of work. We do real estate because we enjoy it and it affords us the flexibility we need. So if we can be more streamlined to spend less time working, but be more profitable in the time that we're working, that's, I think, both of our end goal, not to per se be a millionaire, but to be comfortable and take care of our families at the same time.
Mhm.
So I think we're setting ourselves up to be able to reach that goal.
Yeah.
In a more efficient way,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, our goal is like making, I mean, everybody's goal, make as much as you can with as little effort and expenditure as you can, but for us, a tangible asset is our time.
Yeah.
So if we can streamline our processes and focus on some technology and some things that might require a little investment for us now, but it streamlines those things for us moving forward, but also creates, because our name is WR Luxury Group, still creates that luxury experience for our client that's setting us up for moving forward.
I think our biggest areas of opportunity moving into 2025 is consistency in our online presence.
Mhm.
That's one that when we are
We hate it.
we both loathe it, but also when we are doing it, we see the results from it.
We just hate being on camera with every fiber of
We
our
just,
being.
yeah, we hate it. Yeah,
So it's a good opportunity to go back and tell your people, hey, we came from a business meeting at the office today, and guess what? Everybody's listings are just sitting out there. They're not getting showings. Nothing's happening. So how about if we reduce the price? You know,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
that's what I plan on doing in the next week or so.
When you reduce the price, how much do you reduce?
I think it depends on the,
Is there a formula that you use, Adrian?
No. No, usually you go in increments of $5,000 depending on the list price. On $1 million listing, you're not going to come off, $5,000, but you want to knock $20,000 or $25,000 off on a $1 million listing. I'd say
So-
probably about 2-3% if you can get a 3% reduction.
So about like 10,000, and it depends on the price, right?
Percentage, 3 to 5%.
So say for example, you have a $500,000 house, and 3% is
15.
1,000. 15,000.
but also look, what has anything moved in the area?
Correct.
And, like if just 5,000 or 10,000 lower really buyer. So if you're the buyer looking at searching the price, it's not really what you can afford the price, more like a little higher so if I do like a $300,000 house, when I search, I don't buy max $300,000 house. Do you? I do like more 330, 340.
Yeah, that's what everybody,
Right.
because they know they can offer a little less.
Right.
Right.
And buyer
Yeah,
thinking,
yeah.
right? So if that case, if I lower only $5,000 or $10,000, what can change buyer's mind? That's what I'm thinking. Next week, I'm preparing myself how
For all
I'm
the
gonna
phone
talk
calls.
with the seller. So seller, so how much you wanna go down? So I wanna give them some kind of number, but the number doesn't work. And I have to ask him, we have to do another lower them. I feel like I'm so stupid. So that's why I'm asking you,
But I
what
think
I'm
we all feel
thinking.
that way right now.
So I have to convince them why I'm bringing those number down. So
You got to show them in the multiple listings, show them what went under contract since their property was listed, and show them the new listing.
That's what
What
I'm
if
saying.
nothing in the neighborhood has gone under contract?
6 months?
Even
No.
better. Even better. Look, I mean, look, it all boils down to motivation, first of all. Why do they want to sell? What's their reason for selling? Do they
Right.
just like, well, I like the other side of the coast. I went over there for vacation and it looked nice, and I think I'd like to live over there. That's not motivation.
They have
Motivate,
easy,
you know,
but not strong motivation. One is they already in Georgia, so the house is vacant. They are renting in Georgia.
that's motivation.
And second is they want to move to Texas, but not because of a job, not because of something. Just they want to something live nearby daughter, and then
That
how
that
equity in 4 years. So it's not
yeah,
really
that
strong motivation. Just to
yeah, that's not strong motivation. I want to go to Texas because I got a daughter who lives there and I think I'd like to be close. That's not real motivation.
not real. Yeah, but they have motivation. They want to go there, but not like I have to go right now. Not the kind of motivation I'm saying.
Yeah.
When people selling the property for some reason, but how strong is the different level?
Yeah, they have to have a strong reason for selling.
Yeah, that's
Um,
why it's like higher than market valuation.
it just depends on how soon they want to sell. Hey, I'm not in a hurry. Well, the thing is, if you're not in a hurry, then you need to know that the longer the house takes to sell, the less the offer is going to be, because people will see it as a property that's been for sale for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, and they're going to wonder what's wrong with it. And then when they make you an offer, they're going to come in with very low offers. And the other reason is the other thing you can do is extend the listing. It's been out for 3 months. We haven't had any offers. We haven't had any showings. We got a 6 months listing. Nothing's happened. I need to extend this for another 90 days.
So how much usually, like 30% reduce? That's my question.
Usually about 3%.
Everyone agrees, 3%?
Well, the thing of it is,
Depends.
it really depends on, the situation and, that location, because, the MLS is going to dictate what kind of fluctuation is happening in that particular geography. You can't compare something in Wesley Chapel to something in South Tampa. So really the percentage does not help. Now, in certain situations, what I have done in the past for bigger listings, like expensive $1 million plus listings, I have absorbed the cost of an appraisal, $500, got the property appraised, and then suggested the seller that, okay, Mr. Seller, this is what a licensed appraiser is saying, not me as a real estate agent. If a buyer comes in and he goes ahead and applies for financing, that bank is going to order an appraisal. That appraisal will be done by somebody like this gentleman. So we hired an appraiser. I paid for the fee out of my pocket just to give you a document that this is what the appraiser is saying. So I would strongly recommend you go with this number or even a little bit less than this number, because market is going in the opposite direction. In certain situations, when the property value is not that high, but just to help the client, I'll say, okay, why don't we do this? Let's get an appraisal done. You and I will split the cost. You pay 250, I'll pay 250. Whatever that number comes in, we will start with that number.
So if we start with that number, that means we are selling lower than the number.
No. So let's say if the property
That's
appraises
all
for
right.
$300,000.
Right.
So I always recommend, because the licensed appraiser is saying that it should be $300,000. Guess what? Let's start with $299.99.
So that's what I'm saying. If you do that, so when you close buyer concession, give like 5,000, buyer comes with you like a little 10,000 lower. So that means we are selling our houses
Lower than the appraised value.
lower than market value. Or
appraised value.
The appraised value, seller will have a problem with that.
Well, seller has to wake up. It's not, we are not here to
This is not.
deal
before
with
the
their
pandemic.
moods and swings. Now, in the COVID, the market was totally
Yeah.
different. You are putting a for
Right.
sale and you have 10 offers. There was no formula. There was no appraisal. There was no, I mean, even the brightest people, even the most experienced people like Adrian, 45 years in business, could not predict what's the value. The market value, what's the definition of market value?
What someone will pay for it.
The market value is what the buyer is willing to pay for it. All the other numbers, all the other calculations are meaningless. This is something that we have to educate our sellers. That Mr. Seller, I'm not trying to give you a real estate class, but I'm just giving you a wake-up call. If you want to sell, you got to listen to me. You can't go to a doctor for a surgery and tell them, no, don't do this, do this. He's the expert. Let him operate on you. Let him do the surgery. So let me do the surgery here. I'm the expert. If they don't like it, they tell you to get the hell out, then too bad. But 9 out of 10 times, your sellers will understand that what she's saying makes sense. And this is what I tell my seller. Do you want to sell or not? Just give me one answer. And it has happened to me many times. When I work on a transaction or an investment deal, do you need this?
Okay.
So when I deal with a client on an investment transaction or a seller, you know what's the first question that I ask you from my seller?
What?
Do you need the money? I'm telling you. And
Yeah,
this
but-
and this no. You'll be
Want the money.
no. You'll be surprised how many times my sellers have told me, no, I don't need the money. I just want to get rid of the property. So really, you have to look at that seller and you have to ask them this right question. Do you need the money? If there is a client who wants to sell the property and they have given you the plans that I'm going to sell this, whatever the proceeds are, I'm going to put that towards the down payment and buy another house. Of course, they need the money. You asking them this question is it does not make sense. But I have this client who I already know that he has a portfolio of real estate properties. Okay. I have at least 5 or 6 clients that I've asked this question to. And quite some of them have been doctors. So, doc, do you need the money? He said, no. Okay. But you want to sell, right? He said, okay, I'll sell. I'll get you an owner financing option. He said, yeah, why not? Because
Yeah.
if there is a client who has a portfolio of properties and he does not need the money, because see, believe me, Lauren, there are many people in this world and in the Florida market, and especially in our geography, where the problem is what the hell they're going to do with their money. So if they sell $1 million home,
Can send my way. I'll take a donation.
okay, well, the reason they have all that money is because they don't believe in donations.
Uh-huh.
All right. So I must have closed at least 20 transactions. I'm talking about the lower number, at least 20 transactions where I've spoken to the seller. Okay, Mr. Seller, do you want to sell? Yeah, I want to sell. Why? I just don't want to deal with it. Perfect. Do you need the money? No. Okay, you don't need the money? All right, then we'll tailor the transaction so not only you can sell the property, but also you can reinvest this property. So those are your classic seller financing deals where you can take the buyer and tell the buyer, don't worry about the bank, don't worry about traditional financing. I'm going to get you owner financing from the seller. The benefit for the seller, at the time of the closing, he's not getting any proceeds because he doesn't need the money. He is reinvesting that back into that transaction as a bank and getting a fixed interest on his promissory note, on his mortgage. The advantage for the buyer is he doesn't have to go through traditional hoops with the bank. He just put the down payment and get You just closed a transaction not too long ago like this, owner financing. Did they need the money? He didn't need the money. He just wanted to get rid of that property. Your seller wanted to get rid of the property because he was at the age and stage of his life. He did not want to deal with it. He did not have the need for the dollars. He just had the need of getting that monkey off his back. What happened with the buyer? The buyer just wrote a check. He didn't have to go through any of the BS with the bank, and he closed on the transaction. So that was your perfect classic example of what I'm talking about. Always when you're talking to the seller, you ask, now this doesn't apply to your $200,000 listings, smaller homes. I'm talking about a different type of property. But ask this question, do you need the money? But yes, Jade, I love your plan. I love your track that you are talking about. Niche marketing, absolutely, whether we like certain communities or not. We still, maybe I need to change my mindset.
I know. I know.
So, so yeah,
After everything done, I wanna share with you another opportunity.
on the video or off the video?
After video, everyone
Okay,
has
yeah,
a
sure,
question.
sure.
Uh,
So we're gonna be,
Can I just share something with?
Adrian is not there. He
Adrian
left.
not there?
Yeah, he left.
Okay.
He had some, he'll come back. Probably he got disconnected. So yes, we talked about that. We talked about the investor part. Yeah, no, the mindset is good. I really like your plan. I really like your plan as well. I'm telling you. Because you know what? Bottom line is we have to be. We have to be aggressive. If we are not aggressive for the 2025, we're gonna be wiped out by people who are aggressive. Okay. One more thing that I wanted to share with you, our biggest challenges have been, not ours, but any real estate agents' biggest challenge is to get the lead, to find the client. Okay. We spend our time, our energy, our monies, our efforts. Everything is revolving around getting new business in. Now, being a broker manager of the company, I am approached by different agents with different theories, different mindset, different game plans. I don't mind sharing with you that at least 5 of our agents have switched from becoming part-time realtors to referring agents. Okay. Now, I'm sure everybody knows how the referral business works. Okay. I don't know whether you are aware of it or not, but a major percentage of active real estate agents are now giving up their memberships for the NAR and the MLS. And because of these new buyers agreements and all that, they just don't feel that they have the confidence, they have the knowledge, they have the expertise to be in this market and service their clients. So what they're doing is right now, they are switching to the referral business with a simple philosophy: 25% of something is better than 100% of nothing.
If I wasn't gonna continue working full-time in real estate, sure, I would. If I was picking up another job and just wanted to become a referral agent, that's fine. That's a nice little easy side. Something, make use of the license and the time you put in to let it keep paying you.
I'm telling you, it's I have been approached by many people. Now, since we have the academy, I get phone calls from, people who are planning to get into the real estate business. And they, of course, like the nice guy I am, I give them all the guidance up front.
You shouldn't.
I shouldn't, but I do. So I am going to be putting together a special package for somebody who wants to get into the real estate and wants to make money by not selling real estate. We all make money by selling real estate, but there is a way of making money by not selling real estate. And that's a perfect case for being a referral agent. Okay. It doesn't apply to the people sitting in this meeting, sitting in this room. But if you come across somebody who says, you know what, I want to get started in the real estate business, and then, what should I do? You should get that point across to them that, hey, you can earn money in real estate by not selling. There is a different model here. Get your schooling done, get your license, and get on the referral status. Capitalize on your contacts, on your marketing skills, but don't get involved with the nitty-gritties of doing real estate. Showing, listing, writing contracts, inspections, financing, 6 a.m. phone calls, 2 a.m. phone calls. Don't we deal with any of that. Let us deal with that because we are used to it. We have the temperament for it. We have the system in place. You just concentrate on the marketing and getting the clients and become our team member, become our partner in the transaction. So referral-based business is getting a lot of popularity, way beyond my expectations. Like I told you, 5 agents in the company had a meeting with me and they were asking me, this is what I've done in the past. This is my volume. This is Deepak, what do you recommend? And when I did the math for them, I said, listen, your best bet is simply get on the referral status. Capitalize on your marketing, your social presence, your contacts, whatever you're doing. One is a restaurant owner, one is a, public speaker. Whoever you are, capitalize on that strength of yours. Okay. So referral business is getting a lot of popularity. What you, and including myself, what we can get benefit is we can reach out to non-performing agents. So see, we are marketing ourselves to clients. People who want to buy, people who want to sell, people who want to get financing. Okay, that's fine. That's the end-to-end business services that we are providing to the consumer, to the end user. Have you heard the B2B concept, business to business concept? So this business to business concept is going to gain a lot of popularity, where we are not just marketing ourselves to consumers, but we are also marketing ourselves to other realtors. There are realtors in the company, outside the company, who are not performing, who don't know what to do, who don't have the expertise, who don't have the guidance, who don't have this platform. They might go and sign up with the Keller Williams or Coldwell Bankers or ABC company, but they don't know what to do. And then they get burnt out. They keep their license active, pay a monthly fee, annual fee, pay a few $1,000s a year, and say, you know what, real estate did not work for me at all, because they did not know what to do with their licenses. So if you are interested and if you feel like that you have the ability to do that, that might be a good niche marketing for you as an agent to target other agents too. Hey, what are you doing? What's going on in your market? Oh, you know what? I have a license I'm doing, but I have my commitments. I have Kelly in our company is a good example. Now, Kelly is an active real estate agent. She sells, she buys, she helps the clients, but she has family commitments. Like today, she was telling me, oh, I want to be in the meeting, but I have my family commitments. There are so many individuals out there like that. So not only we should concentrate on the buyers and the sellers, but we should focus a percentage of our time talking to other agents, meeting with other agents, establishing our referral-based business with them too. You'll be surprised at how much leads can you get out of it. Because there are agents who like to get paid for not working. We are agents who work and get paid. Referral-based business is getting a lot of popularity. I wanted to share that with you. Only 45 days left today. Can you believe it?
No.
You see here?
It feels
For
like,
end of year.
uh-huh. I feel
45
like
days.
it's
15th. Okay. Ensure all pending tasks are done. Please upload everything in the back agent if you haven't done it. Client follow-ups. In the 2025 follow up with every client that we have worked with in the past. Very important. We already talked about the market fluctuations. This whole meeting was all geared about it. Very happy with today's comments, today's input. Uh, the changes, the regulatory changes, we have been dealing with them for the past few months now. I don't see any major changes coming in, but I can see some major lawsuits coming in against NAR, against real estate offices. So be very careful with how you are dealing with people, what you're saying, because this new trend of consumers going to attorneys and filing lawsuits against real estate agents and real estate companies is going to gain some momentum. There's a company called Home Services of America. I think they're in Wesley Chapel or Lutz, if I'm not mistaken. All these consumers are getting together and filing a class action lawsuit against. I haven't read in details about it, but I read it in one of the articles that I get. So I have to read about that. Home Services of America. Client expectations are changing. Now it's like a circle. So we were on a very, very traditional one-on-one transaction, one-on-one interaction with the clients. It kind of switched to online and less interaction, less personal interaction. It's getting back into the old traditional model now. You will notice while talking to your clients would love to now sit with you, talk with you, get information on an email, rather than so the more traditional approach is coming back in the market, and this is not just me, this is the industry leaders talking about it. So that I mean, I don't have to say this in this meeting because all of us do believe in that traditional approach, and we already talk up with our clients, meet with them. It's just that their expectations are getting higher and higher. We're already providing way beyond what an average real estate agent does for their clients. So I'm not even worried about it. I think we should keep on doing what we are doing and be getting better at that.
So I'm gonna have to go. right now.
Okay.
But thank you, you guys are doing excellent. I'm confident you guys are gonna continue to do great, okay?
Right. Do you need help? Do you want one of us to go out with you?
Is you okay?
That's what I'm looking for. I know what it is.
Probably.
It's behind you.
Can we help you? No. Okay.
Okay, boss. Have a good day. We'll be in touch. Five important things that are going to play a big role in the 2025 market is going to be the market shift. We are already experiencing it. It is becoming a buyer's market. Adjusting to economic factors. A lot of it has to do with how the economy is going to play out in the next few months, post-election. Interest rate changes, like I already talked about it in the earlier stages of the meeting, that rates are expected to go down. Lenders are prepping themselves for the refinance boom. So now we all know that once the interest rate goes down, the property value goes up. Okay. So you will see a lot of advertisements on YouTube and TikTok where they give you a comparison that you're buying a house for $200,000 at 7.5% interest rate, but you're going to buy the same house for $250,000 at 6.5% interest rate. You're going to end up paying more per month on your mortgage. So things like that, So really a lot of education needs to be done for our clients. Staying compliant is very important with the forms, with the regulations, especially because, whenever there is a major change in the guidelines, the the Department of Real Estate, the Department of Business and Professional Regulations become very strict, and they send out investigators to see what agents are doing. So just stay in compliance. Like I said, everybody sitting in this room, I'm not even worried about it. We all have good business practices. We are already talking about leveraging technology to the best we can. I already said the referral-based model is gaining a lot of popularity. I am going to put together a training session for the reverse mortgage. That was a good suggestion from Adrian. And the Georgia, yes. So we are working on our mortgage companies already licensed in Georgia. So we're working on getting the real estate side license as well. So that would be a good geography. One good thing about referral, let me switch back to the referral model. One good thing about referral model is that you don't have any geographic limitations. So right now we can only practice in the state of Florida. We can refer anywhere. We can get referrals from anywhere. Okay. We have to adapt to the change. I'm so happy that you guys are getting a lot of education, getting a lot of knowledge, more affiliations, more designations. These are not just a few words on your business card, but that establishes you as an expert, as a more knowledgeable person than an average realtor who just got their license. Keep on doing what you're doing. And I think 2025 is going to be a good year for agents who are willing to work. It's not going to be a good year for agents who are not willing to work. If you come across a person who is not willing to work, get them on the team on your referral side and show them how they can make money. You will enhance your team, you will enhance the group of people, and those will be your perfect avenues for getting you leads for buyers, sellers, whatever. So don't just ignore them. Those are also your potential clients, your business to business marketing rather than the end user consumer marketing. Okay. Perfect. Jade, you were going to say something?
So wherever the branch office, my office next to the company, they are doing for the insurance.
Mm-hmm.
They do property, auto, whatever insurance. And so we need the insurance company we can easily, our buyer connect with.
Right.
So I did a little chocolate and every door knocking, and I gave them, who am I? I'm your next neighbor. And then I had a conversation with him. He like to meet you.
Sure.
And then his son is getting mortgage license.
Okay.
So I think if we can talk to them, maybe we can help our buyer finding insurance like easily, fast, or cheap or whatever.
Absolutely. Now, legally, we cannot get compensated for that.
No, they are
Yes,
not
no, no,
exactly,
no, no,
but connect service for us.
no,
best.
I'm just telling you that even on the lending side, it's very strict. So that's why whenever my client tells me to, shop for an insurance, I give them 2 or 3 different contacts. So we can definitely talk to this person and have them on our panel. And when we are shooting out for rate quotes, we can include them in the emails, and then the buyer decides whoever they want to work with and whoever gives them the job. Yeah, sure, you can arrange a meeting with them. If they want to come here, fine. If they want us to meet over there, then I'll come over and then we'll meet with them.
Okay.
Sure.
And then I think he's like a big Indian community influence with the
Good. Then I'm sure.
insurance.
Then I'm sure he must he must know me if he knows
He
the.
knows you. He said I gave him your name. Oh, okay. He think he knows you.
Okay.
Bye.
No, good. Really, it was a very, very good, productive meeting. I'm glad that we got a chance to meet up because 2025 is gonna be a good year. I
think
have-
so.
I have a very good feeling. It's going to filter out the unnecessary components. I'm not saying people, unnecessary components out of our industry. You talk about part-timer, I'm not against them, but I'm just saying part-timers, people who just don't contribute to the health of the industry. They become more of a nuisance. So those people will filter out. It's going to become a very healthy competition, a very healthy competition. So you know what? When I know that I'm working with Lauren, who knows what she's doing, I like doing business with you. Okay? Because we all are going to get paid. We all are going to get compensated. But at least I know that I'm dealing with somebody who's not going to hurt the transaction. How many times we actually work with people and real estate agents who hurt the transaction, not just the buyer and the seller, but the entire transaction is damaged by their lack of knowledge, lack of experience, by their lack of integrity.
That's the big one.
Okay, lack of integrity is one of the biggest causes. All they are looking at is that dollar amount and that commission
And
check.
you actually make more money if you just deal fairly. You-
Absolutely.
if The profit turns out the same. Or better, if you just deal fairly with everyone and
Mhm.
honestly, it always goes better. It's the ones that you have to deal with that try to be sneaky or try to play games. Those ones are the ones that make a problem for everyone, and
Yep.
it costs money, and sometimes the transaction. doesn't do
Transaction.
that.
I'm gonna end this Zoom meeting here. We can continue further. So
We do have a pretty hard stop.
This one has things happening this afternoon.
okay.